Before we finish this course, I also want to show you how to cache out files and what that's all about. So we have our simulation, right? This is our little cloth sim. But as we can see, it kind of takes a while to calculate this. It's not too bad, but some simulations get really intense and this will take a long time. So if I don't want to wait for the solver to figure things out and I just want to save the results, what we can do is cache things out. So I'm going to make a file cache node, and what this will do is save our geometry to our hard drive as a bgo.sc file. We can see that up here at the top right. This bgo file is going to tell Houdini everything it needs to know about that geometry. So it brings over the attributes, it brings over all the polygons, all the points. At every single frame, it's going to store that information. And in most situations, all you need to do to get this up and running is just go up here towards the top, get rid of this hip name, and just have $OS right there. This expression is saying, take a look at the node name when you go to make this. So let's call this our test cloth sim. The frame range is going to match whatever we have down here in our global animation options. And if we click on the text right here, the expressions $fstart and $fend tell Houdini to listen to the global animation ranges. So anyway, let's just see what happens. We save this to disk, and it's going to make a bunch of folders in the process. So if we go to our project directory, we go to our geo file, we can see that we have this test cloth sim. That's the $OS that we specified up here. Go in there, version 1, that's the version right there. And there we go. Every single frame now has its geometry saved out. So now, let's say that I completely detach this node. It's not connected to anything. What I can do is just read the results off of my hard drive. And by the way, when you cache stuff out, you'll want to cache this out to a solid state hard drive so that it has a really fast read time. In other words, you want a solid state hard drive because it goes really fast. If you just have a normal hard drive, a normal spinning disk hard drive, this might take a while to read in that information. Another thing you should know is that, yes, we have this AutoDOP network set up and we have this thing where we go and we collect the results of the AutoDOP, but you'll also see SOP Level Solvers. Here's what that looks like. So if I made a vellum solver, you'll notice that we're able to solve for vellum simulations right here. And so we can get rid of these nulls for a second and just plug in these inputs. So if we have that and we go ahead and we just press play, we're basically solving vellum right here as well. This third input, though, is going to tell us what it's for. So the collision geometry is the third, the constraints is the second, and the first is the vellum geometry. Just look at the bottom text of my node network view. We can see that pop up when we hover over those inputs. So in this case, I want things to collide with a grid. So I'm just going to set up that grid right there on the collision geometry. And we could see that when this goes down, it's going to solve. Just like that. So what's happening here is that when we go inside of this solver, you'll notice that we have the ability to put in forces and we have the ability to wire in different things, okay? But if you take a look at this path up here, what we're really looking at is a DOP network. So this forces subnetwork is what happened when we double click that node. This lives within a DOP network. And if we go up one more level here to the actual vellum solver, we have all of this craziness happening inside of here that basically feeds into a DOPNet. So we still are working with this DOPNet concept. The only difference is that side effects has wrapped together this whole process into one node here on the SOP level. And so oftentimes it's more convenient to just throw down a Vellum solve SOP node and just go that route with things. And then after this, you can just cache things out, as opposed to creating 3 different containers on the object level and going through the previous process. Both methods will work so long as it gets you the results you need. But in my opinion, you're going to want to understand DOPS at some point or another. The SOP level solvers here are really fantastic, and I still highly recommend using them, especially as a beginner. But over time, you'll want to eventually create custom DOP situations. So we are going to still study the DOP nets. But I just want to let you guys know that this workflow also exists, and it's something that SideEffects is currently expanding upon. So in the future, SideEffects is going to be pushing more of the SOP level simulation stuff. And well, it's there to, again, just make your life convenient and save you a few steps along the way. And now we have this glorious Vellum simulation. At this point, it's now your turn. You need to go up to the shelf tools, play around with stuff, try the different SOP level solvers, see if you can get something to work. Find yourself a goal, try to intuitively find what you need through the shelf tools and through just looking up basic things, and see if you can do something different with this orb. So once you guys get done with this course, the next question is, where do you go from here? There are tons of tutorials, talks, blogs, resources, Discord servers, you name it. There's a lot of stuff out there when it comes to Houdini. And no doubt as a beginner, that's kind of exciting because there's so much stuff to check out, but it's also kind of overwhelming because there is almost too much to check out and you might not know where to go. So what a lot of people do is they try to just find random things here and there and then piece it together in their head to eventually become good at Houdini. So you might take this little thing from a talk and this little thing from a tutorial over here and this thing from another course, and you try to piece it all together to get good at Houdini. But let me ask you a question. If you were to learn something really difficult, like calculus, as an example, how would you do that? Well, you probably would go check out a course, maybe Calculus 1, Intro to Calculus, something like that. And then you would check out Calculus 2 and Calculus 3. And ideally, you'd probably work with the teacher that's working with you individually so that when you have questions or you get stuck, they can help you out. And ideally as well, the reason why you go from Calculus 1 to Calculus 2 to Calculus 3 is because the concepts build on each other over time. That is probably the best way to learn something difficult like calculus. But why should it be any different when it comes to Houdini? And see, this is where I think a lot of people go wrong. I think if you try to take things randomly, so you kind of skip around from Calculus 3 to trigonometry to Calculus 1 to Calculus 2, when you do things randomly like that, it's going to teach you things, yes, and you are going to learn and you are going to get better. But I think it's also doing it the hard way. It's going to be very difficult for you to learn like that. It's going to take more of your time because you're going to look at stuff that's too advanced for you right now. It's not going to stay in your head. It's going to be frustrating, maybe overwhelming at times because, you know, it's just a lot of information. And again, it's not really the right level for you always. Or maybe something's too easy and you get bored. So you're not finding the right challenges. And then along the way, you also run the risk of burning out. And one of the fastest ways I see people burn out with Houdini is by just picking up random stuff, not having a specific goal, not having a direction, and becoming overwhelmed by all that there is to know about Houdini. And in the process being like, this is too much. And then you quit and then you do something else. That, again, is the biggest threat to your success. This is why I've made CG Forge. I don't want you guys to burn out, and I want you to have a better experience as you're learning Houdini. So here you can find tutorials that make sense, that build up over time. You know that the quality is going to be good. You know that things are going to be presented in a way that makes sense over time as you learn. And it's very easy to do. All you say is beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and you're going to find the right challenge for wherever you're at. CG Forge also goes way beyond basic courses and self-paced study with CG Forge Academy. What you can do here is schedule one-on-one online video meetings with me to go over your career goals, to go through your HIP files, to help you with specific projects. It's all here to help you advance your career goals, and this is actually better than what you have in college or at a workshop because it's all about you and not the group. You can go for a 45-minute session, a 90-minute session, or the 6-week mentorship plus full access to CG Forge. With the mentorship, we can also work on your demo reel. I can help you get in contact with industry recruiters. I can help you get started with your first freelance gig. Or if you're in the industry already and you want the time to study a particular topic, I can give you the right exercises to do so. And again, give you that one-on-one assistance that helps so much when you're trying to learn and progress your goals. One more thing, as you learn at CG Forge, you'll also find the Node Bible that has these really helpful links that pop up on the screen as I use nodes. So if you want to learn about the extract centroid as an example, you just click on this link. That will bring you to the Node Bible where I have a simplified explanation. I demonstrate how to use this in a practical way, and it really just saves you time when it comes to learning these individual nodes. The bottom line is this: CG Forge is going to save you time. It's going to save you the hassle and frustration of learning something difficult, and it's going to provide you real opportunity at an affordable price. I'd also like to give special thanks to John Moncrief and Peter Akara. They're a part of Side Effects' educational team, and their feedback was really helpful in making this course. Also, be sure to stick around for the bonus section. You'll find those videos exclusively at cgforge.com. You can register for free, the videos are for free, and I've basically put together a few topics that will make your life a lot easier as a beginner. Plus, if you want to see how I made the final render, I'll be giving a breakdown of what I did there as well. Again, thank you for watching, good luck with your future endeavors, and have a great day.